All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Berezin from MSDW. Thanks so much for joining us for today's session on D365 F&O Document Management in Focus, the latest from Lasernet, presented by our friends at ERP Mechanics and FormPipe. So before we get started, I just want to mention a couple of things. The first is that if you have any questions during the session, please feel free to type them into the chat box, and one of our presenters will get back to you via email after the session ends. The second thing is that we are recording the session, and we'll have the video posted to MSDW within the next day or two. So without further delay, Dean, I am going to turn it over to you.
Cool. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this session on document management for Dynamics 365 F&O, where me and Nathan are going to be highlighting the latest from Lasernet, the premier document management tool for Dynamics. So to start, a very brief agenda. We'll run through some introductions about who we are, talk through some common use cases for Lasernet, explain the new features coming down the pipe, and then Nathan is going to do a demo for us in real time so you can see how these things actually look. So for today's hosts, you've got myself. My name is Dean Palmer, and I'm UK Business Director at ERP Mechanics. I've worked within document management and output for my whole career, primarily with Lasernet, and I'm joined today by a good friend of mine, Nathan Gold, who's a business solutions consultant at FormPipe. Nathan is very experienced within the Dynamics world, and for the most recent part of his career, has worked with customers to solve their document and output management needs with Lasernet. Thanks for joining me today, Nathan.
Happy to be here.
So who are ERP Mechanics? Simply put, we're a D365 FO and Lasernet consultancy. Originally conceived as an idea between three friends whilst hiking in the Alps, we've now grown to a team of 30 plus people delivering high quality services to our clients and partners. We're a full service consultancy, so we're equally happy diving in for short-term resourcing needs, as well as taking on the whole project. Recently, we've gone global, adding offices and people in the US and the UK, allowing us to work with even more clients in different regions, meeting local standards, regulations, etc. And partnerships are very important to us. We're proud to work alongside some of the biggest names in the industry. This allows us to provide a full suite of solutions to our end clients, ensuring that we meet all of their business needs. And then our clients, they push us forward, making sure we're always up to date and delivering at our best. Here's just a handful of the companies that we've been lucky enough to work with and still continue to support to this day. So that's enough about us, and let's get into document management, which is really what we're here to talk about. And the first question is obvious. What does Lasernet do? Simply put, Lasernet makes producing complex documents easy. It's here to ensure consistent branding across your whole estate of business documents, improving your customer communication and brand awareness. Every single interaction with your customers is a chance to reinforce your brand and reinforce that trust, whether that's a traditional document like an invoice or an email notification to update them on something. Lasernet can help make sure that they all look the same. With the ability to pull in data from multiple sources and flexible design tools that allow you to securely distribute those documents via whatever channel is necessary, Lasernet is there to do it all. And most importantly, for me at least, it's designed for functional users, not developers. Everything is done through a drag and drop, no code user interface, allowing you to avoid lengthy and costly custom development times. And with over 2,500 implementations across the globe, Lasernet has helped a lot of businesses solve their document output needs. Here's just a sample of those more recent customers that have benefited from the power and flexibility of Lasernet. So we're going to talk through some use cases now, and I'll pass the floor over to Nathan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dean. So, those logos that Dean showed you there are a few of the companies that we're really proud to have worked with recently. And of course, there's more than 1,000 other logos that we've worked with as well that we're just as proud of. We just don't have enough slides. But some of the things that we work with those companies are sort of shown on the screen here. And this is what Lasernet is really known for within the Dynamics world. So that's designing documents, catalogs, signatures and point of sale, or complex destinations and mail handling and things like that. These are our core functionalities, and we've got a huge amount of content available out on the World Wide Web, on our support portal, in our partner network that are talking through these use case examples. So if you go on to the next slide, Dean. And the way that we work within those use cases is by fixing some of these common challenges. So for example, you have product images, documentation, certifications, things that you need to pull from lots of different systems, so multiple systems and large amounts of data, and all of that pulled together and then sent via different delivery mechanisms to predefined destinations. This is the sort of standard Lasernet functionality that we've got. And we've been doing it for 26 years in multiple thousands of customers. It's what we're known for, and it's what we're best at. But the way that we work is we always like to bring something new. We always like to improve, and we always like to develop. And we do all of that all by building new things into the system. When we're doing that, we do focus on making sure that we keep ourselves accessible to the functional consultant. So everything that we're talking about, all of the things that we looked at in the last couple of slides, that's all done through configuration and not through code. But coming up, what we've got in the latest release is what we're going to talk about today. So that's what's new. Now, normally when we talk about Lasernet, we talk about a document generation and data orchestration tool, and that's what we're great at. But we're starting to branch out into some new areas. And the first one is sort of customer communication management. And that's where we're looking at email tracking and file tracking. So we generate all of these documents, we do all of this destination management and all of this delivery, but what actually happens to it after we've sent it away? We're starting to give you tools that help you track that as well. And also simplifying your infrastructure overhead. So rather than having a separate Lasernet server and various Azure resources that need to be managed, we've built those tools into the Lasernet, into the finance and operations server now. So our query wizard and our embedded developer, we're going to have a look at how we work with them to do all the same stuff we've been doing for years, but just with less overhead. And then on top of that, we'll look at our side-by-side comparison tool. We've built that because, along with ERP mechanics as well, we spend a lot of time working in ERP projects, a lot of projects which are in flux. We know there's always releases, we know there's always testing, and we've built a suite of tools which make that testing easier. And the side-by-side comparison tool is one of those. So what I'll do now is I think I will jump into the demo and show you guys how that actually works. So let me present my screen, minimize this, and maximize this. Cool. So just to go through the process of what's happening now, we're going to generate a report out of Lasernet, and we're going to send it as an email to a customer. We're going to track that message on the way out of Lasernet, and then we're going to hear back from the customer that something has gone wrong with it. Then we're going to use the tools that we've got within Lasernet to find out what the problem is, fix the problem, and deliver it back to the customer, all in probably about 11 or 12 minutes. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to run one of these sales order confirmations. Now, this is my favorite sales order confirmation in here, so I've run it a million times, which means I'm running this from the journal. But I'm going to click on Lasernet and resend. I'm going to click on Lasernet predefined and OK. What I'm doing here is I'm just telling the system, go and use the setup that we've got in the background to deliver this email. And in this instance, it's being delivered to the email address, which is linked to the customer, which is linked to this sales order. So that's all pretty standard Lasernet so far. But what's new is being able to track that message. So if we click on Lasernet tracking here, and I go to these not sent emails, I can see here, we've got the email we've just created, and it's sat there in our not sent emails. Now, within finance and operations, we're always waiting on batch jobs to run, but handily, our developers have added in this send emails button, so I can click on this and just get it to send immediately. So now I can see that the email status is just registered, but if I click on check status now, I can see that that email has actually been sent to the user, and I can see it under our sent items here. I can also, if I come into my email inbox here, see that we've got our email with our message and a link that lets us download the actual file. So I've downloaded that file that we've generated, and here it is. And we can see all of that in our Lasernet tracking because now we can see that it is downloaded. So that's the first thing we wanted to look at, was our tracking of the information that we send outside of the system. But now in this scenario, we're going to get a message back from the person that we've sent this to. And I said, thank you very much for that email. But normally when we get a confirmation from you guys, it has images on it. Where are the images on the document this time? Okay, we can find out what's happened there. So what we need to do is go and look at our test and performance suite and run some of our tests. So if I come back into finance and operations here, go to my Lasernet module and go to the list of all the reports that we're working with. At the moment, we're working with a sales confirmation report, and I can click on testing and then test checkpoints. What a test checkpoint is, it's a saved known good version of the report. So I've got that version there, which I know is correct. And what I can do is run a checkpoint test to compare that known good version with the version that we've just created. And it will tell me exactly what is wrong, if anything. And here we can see, okay, we have got an error message here. There's something wrong. And we can go into compare, PDF, and see the two versions side by side. So this is how it should look with these images. And this is how it is looking. And because the images are missing, some other stuff has moved around as well. So this is what we need to go and fix. Now, luckily, I actually deleted that about 10 minutes ago, so we know exactly what we need to fix. But if we didn't, we could come into compare and look at the XML and see the data itself and find exactly what had gone wrong. In this instance, what has happened is our invent table has gone missing from our query and our images have gone missing from our output. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my embedded developer here, find my sales confirmation replacement, go into edit and go into query wizard. In here, I'm going to add my data back in. So on this left-hand side here, this is a list of all of the data which exists in this system. And I know I need my invent table. On the right-hand side, this is everything which already exists in the query. And all I need to be able to do is click on an arrow to add that in. I can look at the relation. Lasernet has found the standard relation for us. If we wanted a custom one or a different join here, we could do that. And then if we click on next, we've got all of our data sources on the left this time. And we can select the actual fields that we want to add in. So I know I'm looking for an image. And I can just search for that. And again, just click on the arrow and there it is. Now I've clicked finish. That change has been done. It's available for us. There is no need to get a developer involved. There is no need to bring anything down overnight. There is no need for a release or anything. As soon as we click finish, that change is available to us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my report that we ran where we identified a problem. And I'm going to go back to Lasernet again and resend. But this time I'm just going to send it to the screen because I just want to test this. I don't want to get the customer involved. I just want to see what's happened. So I'm going to click OK. And now that addition to the query that we've done, our invent table, that's pulling through our product image. But we can see still no image on our output. So I know I need to go and edit this design as well. One thing I can do is come into Show XML and just do Control F for image and see, have I actually added that in anywhere? And I can say, okay, the changes that we made were successful. Here's our base64 encoded image. I just need to add it to the design. So I can click on edit and go to the linked design here. And no need for a separate server, no need for any separate Azure resources. This developer is running on the Lasernet server. So as soon as you've installed the connector in finance and operations, you can get this to run. And what I'm going to do is go in here, bring it off the other screen, and we're going to make our changes. So on the left-hand side, this is the message that we're getting from the source system. That's the query we've just built. And on the right-hand side, this is the example of the output that we're working with. And we can see that our images are missing. So I can either do Control F and find my image, or I can just scroll down if I know where it is and find one of them. So here's an image. All I need to do to be able to edit this output is click on image, click on the base64 encoded image, and Lasernet fills it into our pattern for us. Then I just need to place it in the right place. Right, 21. And then 5. And as soon as I click on save, again, that change has been made. So we can really quickly then have found that issue that we had that the customer brought up to us and then fix the issue. And we can go and use our test checkpoint again to validate that it's working. So if I click run checkpoint test again, click on OK, we're doing exactly the same thing. with our previous known good version and now our updated current version. And we can see now blue message, no error. And we can go into compare the PDF again, and we should see, yep, 0 differences. Here's the checkpoint and here's the result, and it all matches. So fantastic, we've fixed the issue. But we still have to deal with the fact that the customer has the wrong version of this document. So what I can do is I can go back to my list of Lasernet reports, find my sales order confirmation report, and use the journal. So this is a record of all of the reports that we've run. So we can see, here's the error message that we sent without the images. Here's our tests, and I can select this email. And here's all the information for the email. And I can click on resend. And I can add a message in here that says, apologies for the missing images. Please see attached updated document. Click on force rerun and send that through. And now we've identified that problem, fixed it, and sent it out to the customer. And of course, we can track that again through our Lasernet tracking. And here's the email. So that was the demo that I wanted to show to you guys today. That was looking at our email tracking, our new customer communication management stuff, and looking at some of the embedded tools that we've got within Lasernet. So back over to you, Dean.
Brilliant. Thanks, Nathan. Really appreciate that. I'm always in awe of how well you show this stuff off. So thank you. It's really nice to see the continuous tweaks. Obviously, I'm on the partner side now, but we go a long way back. So it's interesting for me to see on the partner side now the continuous tweaks and improvements that you guys are always delivering to the platform, constantly making things easier and simpler for the end users to manage their documents effectively. And the thing that I really like recently is this shift towards adding more and more to the FO interface itself, so you don't have to dive out to a separate server or dive out to some kind of separate system with the more enterprise level solutions. So yeah, thank you for that. If you want to come and speak to people from ERP Mechanics or FormHub about anything that you've seen in person today, or explore any other ways that both of us can help you with your business, we are both at Community Summit in Orlando this month, and we'll be happy to talk anything FO, document management, Lasernet, etc. Plus, I think we both have some exciting activities planned on our booth, so be sure to stop by and have a chat with us both. Booth 901 for FormPipe and 206 for ERP Mechanics. That wraps things up for today's session. If you've got any questions or want to talk through anything at all about where you think we might be able to help you, please feel free to reach out to myself or Nathan on the details on the screen. And yeah, thank you for your time and thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.